incredibly confident in our offense, and for our D lineman to get pulled, and I think the 5 minutes left in the third quarter is against a team like that shows that we're kind of on a different level this year.
What do you attribute that to? Why do you think this season has started off and you played such consistently through 5 games?
I think just the way we've built this team, we've had aspects since we've been here where we haven't been as strong, and the way John and Kyle have built the team with offensively, with they could attack in any way. You got Ayuk who could go deep. You got Debo. You got Christian. You got George. There's really no weakness, and then Brock is playing as one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Quickly before we dive into the content of his the substance of what he was talking about, is that your classic rich guy shirt that costs $1,200, or is that just a shirt that me and you might have in our closet?
I mean, I guess it could be based on the cut. Hard to tell, right? If it's the rich guy, it's probably gonna be like super long or like you get some weird feature to it. Hard to tell. I mean, you didn't get it from Target. It might be the cheap shirt they have at Saks, or where I have no idea where these guys shop. But
you think Bosa shops at Saks?
I don't. What do you think he does? Just buy stuff off Instagram? I think that's what a lot of dudes do. Is just click on shit on Instagram. So it could be just
if you told me he gets that shirt from a place that he likes, where he lives in Florida, that he gets 5 of those, for $300 or something. I would if I had to take an educated guess, I would say it's much more of a normal person shirt than a rich guy shirt.
Could be. The seams go well past the shoulder up here, which makes me think there's a little kind of designer element to it. Like most normal shirts are kind of cut in a normal way. This one's got a little flavor to it, but I mean, he's wearing his backpack with padded, yeah, you're probably right. I don't know, but I could listen to Bosa talk all day.
Nick, for all the guys we make fun of receding and thinning, he's got a thick head of hair there.
Great. He is. He's woolly. The beard too. Yeah, lot of testosterone pumping right there. Is that what it is?
A lot of people in the comments, rich guy tees always have weird ass colors. Yeah, it's probably. If you told me it's a $500 t-shirt, I guess it's very plausible.
What do you think? He said they have no weaknesses. But when he says it, he's not trying to make any crazy statement. When you watch them right now, you go, what is the weakness? What's the weakness?
Well, the question would be their defense, or excuse me, their offense playing a high-end defense. They just did, and they eviscerated them.
Yeah.
Because we know their defense has proven it for now years. We know their defense is really good. Relative, it's not the 85 Bears or the 2000 Ravens or whatever, but it's pretty damn good. And relative to the 2023 NFL, it's championship level. So to me, you can give up a touchdown here and there or whatever, but under no circumstances, or excuse me, I understood where let's see them play some real teams on defense and see how Purdy looks in 2023. Well, we just saw it. Him and Kyle eviscerated those guys. Dan Quinn makes, I would guess him and Fangio, highest paid defensive coordinators in the league that aren't a head coach calling the defense. And they fucking destroyed him. They destroyed him. Absolutely destroyed them. I mean, that was, I've really spent a lot of time thinking. I remember getting in bed last night on Sunday night and thinking, I looked at Maria, the Niners just blew out the Cowboys. Sam Darnold came in. Honestly, you could have brought him in a series earlier. Like Nick said, we started yanking guys.
Maria was
like, it was crazy.
Tell me more, John. Talk to me about the Niners Cowboys.
She likes the Niners.
Yeah, I know. Dak, did you hear what Dak said after the game? He said, I thought losing to the Cardinals was humbling. This is the most humbling loss of my career. Now, you have to be beat pretty badly if a good team humbles you more than a bad team beating your ass.
I think part of it, and he mentioned this, I really liked our plan. I felt really good about coming in. So when you think about it, when you spend all week, and for those that not that I've ever played in the NFL, but I've seen a preparation week. I would guess the high-end teams, a team that's been to the playoffs, feel better and worse about certain things. And once you're an experienced guy like that, I like the way we can exploit them. We think this, and this. We can take advantage of X, Y, and Z, which at the highest level it's very, the difference of success and failure is probably very, 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 very small. And he looked shell-shocked. To me, that was the thing that I saw in his face. Beside the words coming out of his mouth that, what the fuck? We thought we were better than last year. Because that was what we have just seen the last 2 years, which were close games, right? I mean, the gap was nowhere near what we witnessed last night.
That's right.
That was crazy, man. I mean,
wonder
think
if he
about
just
a couple
thought
weeks
for
ago,
the first time-
the Rams game didn't look like that. The Giants' first half didn't look like that. It was pretty clear by once you got more and more drives, the separation between the two teams.
Well, if you're thinking about you're like, we didn't bring our best against the Cardinals. We were down 3 offensive linemen. Those guys are back. That won't happen to us again. They got smacked again, right? And I wonder if it's the first time he thought, like, maybe we can't win the championship.
One issue they have against the 49ers, honestly, Arizona plays pretty fast on defense. They at least fly around and try. Tony Pollard, if you watch him against random teams, is really good. He's a fast player in space. You can throw him wheel routes.
He was good against the Niners last year before he got hurt in the playoffs.
He was. It was much more difficult for them to go laterally with him because they want him to get lateral and then get vertical because you get him in space, he's faster. Well, 54 and 57 are going to play like Ray Lewis and Luke Kuechly in their primes. Fred plays like that. But if Dre Greenlaw is going to be a Pro Bowl level player, you can't really play like that. So you basically we're going to need to come downhill at you and block you with our offensive linemen. Because when you throw wheel routes, you're ultimately leaving those guys unblocked and going one-on-one situations, which did not work. Right? It just didn't. And I think that's a huge key for them against most teams is he becomes a chess piece for them. And I think they thought they could get on the edges more than no one thinks they're going to run it down the 49ers' throat because those guys are sitting between the tackle boxes, right? And they're going to make, like Bowman and Willis, you're going to look up. If you're going to run it on them, and Bowman and Willis played in a much more run-heavy league, you'd look up. One guy had 16 tackles, the other guy had 14. Well, there's only 58 snaps, so I mean they're making 75% of
Well,
the
they also
tackles.
made like 3 special teams tackles per game.
Yeah, and a couple sacks, and that's what those guys did last night. It's why if you are going to discredit the importance of linebackers, when you get the right ones, it is invaluable. Because those guys, if you just put 2 random linebackers with the other sweet defensive lineman and the other solid secondary, the 49ers defense wouldn't be remotely close to what it is. Because Van Der Esch made some plays. You felt it on the Cowboys side. They had impact linebackers with Parsons and him. They play fast. And now Van Der Esch, I saw on Roto World, fucked up his neck for the 17th time. That's a problem.
It is.
And the kid that taught the touchdown has a high ankle sprain. I mean, the Niners destroyed them physically.
Well, I got to pull it up. I think Dallas, between their injuries, the fact that they're still trying to learn a new offense, and their schedule is really tough. Chargers on Monday night, Rams, Eagles, Giants, Panthers, Commanders, Seahawks, Eagles. Well, I mean, they got to go to the Bills. They got to go to the Dolphins. It is tough. Listen to this. They go to the Chargers next week. They play the Eagles.
Cowboy home game.
Yeah. And they'll probably win the game. They still got to play the Eagles twice. They got to play at Miami and at Buffalo. They have listen to this stretch. Seattle, Philly, at Buffalo, at Miami, Detroit. That's for Dallas. Dallas, you said yesterday 12 or 13 wins. Are we sure?
Charger game's important.
They might have been broken. We'll find out. Like, did they get broken yesterday? Aaron Banks, it sounds like, is just a shoulder sprain. That's good news. I would have said, after that touchdown, they threw it a 9. Maybe Isaiah Oliver's a weakness, but he was in a tough spot against a fast player. The thing with Isaiah Oliver, if you're looking for weaknesses, he's been beat a few times. He does show up and make plays. He hasn't had a game yet where he gets beat. You're like, God, he's a weakness. And then he keeps getting beat, right? He's been beat. but he's also stepped up and made plays. And on this team, like your number one quality, I think, has to be, are you a good tackler? And he's been a pretty good tackler for them. So he's not as good as Mooney Ward, obviously, but
I tried to rewatch that play. I would imagine they started, Isaiah Oliver's lining up in the slot, and they basically ran a go route, to the corner of the end zone. That is a play that you're going to try to take advantage against most teams, a slot corner. That's not – I mean, that's – I don't really know what you can do about that. How many slot corners are going to stride for stride like Dion or Revis? I mean, even if your defense – this is why when you see some of these stats from the Ravens defense, of 2000, the Steelers defense in 2010, the 85 Bears, some of the great defenses, they just didn't give up any touchdowns. Most good defense in the modern era, you're going to give up a touchdown here and there, whatever. Remember a couple years ago when they made the NFC Championship game at 10 wins, their secondary was, an all-time weakness. It's honestly crazy they made it as far as they did with their secondary.
Yeah, it was a mess. You see Mosley got hurt, by the way, this weekend? ACL.
Awful.
We were talking about this. Was it
he returned off an ACL and then tore his ACL in the first game back.
Yeah. We were talking about this was it the Arizona game, right? Where it's like, I don't know. They didn't put him away right away in the second half. And then you look up, let's think about this. One touchdown per half is pretty good for a defense, right? So,
yeah.